Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today, as it seems to be a bit of a New Year's tradition, we're going to make some Lego. So last year we did the Porsche 911 GT3, the Technic Lego set, and then there is a video coming with some modifications to that. And this year, by probably guessing from the thumbnail or the t-shirt, we've got the McLaren. So let's see what we've got here. So as you can see, we've got the McLaren F1 Technic Lego right here, 1,432 pieces, so a pretty big set. I don't know about modifications for this one. I've seen a couple, but there's not many in there. And you will see this is the 2022 version. So this has the slightly different wheel covers. I know some of the first ones had the Pirelli markings on this. This is more in line with the actual car that hit the track in 2022. So big set. Let's get to it and let's see what we've got here.
Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. You are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day.
Okay, so that's the unboxing. So now I'm probably going to do bag one now. See how long bags one takes me. Would be basically a lot of the rear suspension and part of the engine. So I'll get that started now and see how long that takes. We might take a few breaks in between and see how we're getting along.
you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day.
So a little update, got to the end of instruction set number 49, just about to go on to the ICE, or the internal combustion engine. So basically here we have the rear differential, rear suspension, really quite cool, double wishbone, and you can see that the actual retention springs there, which give the suspension, the travel, are actually up the top here, on top of the gearbox slash differential, which is very accurate to F1. The travel of the suspension, as you can see, just like an F1 car, so rather than having the suspension struts here to control the hub up and down, the forces moved into here, which is then connected via these two. So as you can see, it's quite stiff, you can see, and then that of course moves in here, just around, just here. So really cool. A little bit higher up than I was expecting. I was thinking maybe the differential would be more like this at the bottom, but let's see how it goes. Let's build this engine.
Sweet delight, you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart.
There we go, so that's bag one complete. As you can see, we have the whole rear suspension, differential, and the engine. Interestingly enough, no representation of the turbocharger, which is a bit strange. But we can see the engine is connected, the crankshaft connected from there. It looks like if this is the floor of the car, it is quite high up, so that's quite interesting. I think that's so that it pops out the engine cover so you can see it a bit. So now we've completed the rear end, we're gonna go now and do bag two, which looks like it's front suspension, a bit more chassis, and the base of the cockpit. So let's get to that. I might zoom in the camera a little bit more so you guys can see a little bit more of what I'm building.
You are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. You are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. When we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, in the light of day. you are my lucky charm. I hold you close in the night in my arms. And when we open our eyes, my worries fade away. 'Cause you gave me your heart in the light of day, the light of day.
Welcome back to day 2. So as you see in that pause there, we managed bags 1 and 2. So we're gonna hit back to it. So this is where we're at. So you can see we've pretty much got most of the chassis, the front monocoque, seat is in position, engine, gearbox, well, differential really, no gearbox on here, rear and front suspension, steering's all working. So we'll hop into it and let's see if we can get some more done now. I'm going to try and get a camera angle, try and as much as possible get over my shoulder so you can see a bit more of the detail of the build. So it might be a slightly different camera angle for this next couple of shots. So let's get to it. So bag 3, we are at instructions set, I think you can see it just there, 173. This is halfway through. Paperback book does make it a bit hard sometimes to get some of the instructions down this inside edge here, but we'll persevere through. By the looks of it, we are making this just up here, next section. I'm not quite sure where that is, but let's figure it out.
Switch.
Right, so I'm just going to take a quick pause here. So we're at instructions now 210. So we've actually done a nice bit. So we've got the actual floor, the diffuser and diffuser kick, got the beam wing up here with the rain light, and we've got a lot of this side pod detailing with the kind of kick here to the Venturi tunnels. So it's really starting to come together now.
Switch.
So that's the end of bag 3. As you see, we now have a front wing with end plates here. Front suspension was done, but we actually have the nose as like a little cooling duct. At first I thought this was misaligned, but it's just like a little cooling duct, which is on the F1 cars. You can see we've got the throat to the Venturi tunnels with the strakes in there. They are quite loose, so it's hard to keep them straight. There's nothing kind of supporting them. But so that's the throat to the diffuser. Of course, we've got the strakes on the side here. Got the start of the side pods and the floor. We've just fitted this bit here, which this is the last section on bag 3, which is like the engine cover, and this is a little bit tricky to line up. You just need to make sure you have one down on there, kind of then all lines up. We've done the rear of the diffuser, so here's the rear of the diffuser and the rear crash structure and the lower beam wing here. So it's looking good. It is big. I think this is pretty much full width because the rear wing's going to just go up really. As reference, there's a normal, what's this, 500ml bottle of Coke, and it's over 2 of those. So it is quite big. So that's it for bag 3. You could do this all in one sitting very easily, but it kind of spoils some of the fun. I like to pace it out. We're only a couple of days after New Year, so I don't want to do it all in one go. So we'll up to instruction 251. So that'll be bag 4 onwards, or bags 4 onwards, and we'll bring it back sometime soon. Right, we're back for day 3 now. So I've kind of split it up just because I don't like to do all the Lego in one go. It feels like you're wasting the enjoyment of doing it. So we'll split it up into 3. So day 3 now, we're going to be watching the Daytona 24 hours. And let's show you where we're at now. And we've just got bags 4 to do now. So let's get to it. So bags 4 is instruction 251, so that's where we're going to start, and it should finish up pretty much done. Where we're at the moment, we have a full front wing, full suspension, Still have this little nubbin on here. I assume that's going to be for the halo. The bottom half of the side pods are in, engine's working, and we have like the rear engine cover, beam wing, lower part of the diffuser, so it's getting there, and size wise it's pretty big. In fact, let me get something for comparison. There we go. So that's a large bottle of Jaeger, and you can see it's what, probably from nose to tail, probably 3 of those, so it's pretty long. So let's get the camera set up and let's crack on with bags 4 then. So there you go, that's we're up to now 301, and we've just done the top of the side pods. Now some of these stickers a little bit tricky because they are bigger. Top tip that I learned is if you do get some bubbles, which I did on one of these bigger ones, is just use the corner of the sticker sheet to kind of get under, and it won't damage the sticker. You can lift it up and then relay it. So yeah, I had a couple of little bubbles in one of these, but now it's hard to see, but okay, you can see there's no bubbles on any of those. And that finishes off the top of the side pods. Let's get on with the rest.
Until tomorrow is fading now, I don't know babe, we were endless. Drowning in your eyes, put me in your tide. Do you still remember all the shit we used to do? The drunken walks at 2 a.m. in high school. Slipping away before your eyes are into the night. It feels better when you're frozen inside my mind. Till the clock runs out of eyes on you. When the sun goes down, it's just too soon. Won't you take me away? Oh, I can't refuse it. Give me your soul before you lose it. Will it last until tomorrow? It's fading now, I don't know. When you're young and wild, there's still our eyes on you, they're watching over. Keep your composure, be your controller. Circle round and round we went, could you take me home again? Fireworks all in your eyes, telling me that it's alright. Till the clock runs out of eyes on you. When the sun
There we go, we are done, and that is a wrap. The build is complete. As I say, I did it over 3 different days. We did bags 1 and 2 on the first day, 3 on the second day, and 4 on the third day. That's just because you could do this easily in one sitting, but it kind of means you get all your enjoyment in one go, and then you don't get as much enjoyment afterwards. So as you can see, the car is massive. It's bigger than the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and I have to say, has some really interesting build techniques in it. There was some interesting things that were, I wouldn't say there's anything particularly tricky about the build, but there was some interesting ways of doing it. Particularly like the rollover hoop was really well done. This bit's really lovely and solid. I like how the Venturi tunnels are done. The car does have DRS, although it's not functionable. There is a DRS kind of thing, it kind of flaps up, and I think you can do a mod where you can make it activatable. Also, being a 2022 car, we have to ask the question, does it porpoise? I think that's going to porpoise quite beautifully. Again, we'll just use our Jaeger bottle as comparison for size. You can see it's pretty much 3 Jaeger bottles long, and what's that? 2/3 of a Jaeger bottle high, if that helps. Things I don't like about it, I have to say the intakes to the side pods. I think they've got the 2022 rules down because they were quite narrow, but there's a couple of grey studs in there. Don't really know why they're there. It kind of breaks it up a bit too much. Maybe if there's like a black panel that you could put in there. The other thing that I'm not a massive fan on, as being a big F1 fan, is the quality of the front wing. Now I know this was made in conjunction with McLaren, and at a time when the 2022 cars weren't out, so it's not as if they could have access to any information that wasn't confidential. So they've kind of done a representation of 2022 wing, which isn't quite accurate to the car. The rear wing pretty accurate, and the rest of the car pretty accurate, but that is probably not quite 2022 spec. But other than that, really liked it. I thought it was ingenious how they did the mirrors. That was really nice. Halo, surprised how good that was. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed the build. And we'll cut to some close-up shots now for you.
till the clock runs out of eyes on you. When the sun goes down, it's just too soon. Won't you take me